Are you a homeowner or thinking about buying a home soon? If so, pay close attention because the real estate world is changing in a big way, and these changes could affect how you buy or sell your home. I'm Tamara.
And I'm Ozzie
from Century 21 New Heritage, and today we'll be breaking down the recent National Association of Realtors settlement and how it will impact real estate transactions moving forward. These changes could define how buyers and sellers navigate the real estate market, and knowing what's coming will save you from any surprises along the way.
Let's start by giving you some background on why these changes are happening. In recent years, several lawsuits were filed against the National Association of Realtors and major real estate brokerages. These lawsuits focused on what some saw as anti-competitive practices, particularly in how buyer agents were compensated.
To avoid lengthy and costly court battles, a settlement was reached in August 2024. This settlement will reshape the landscape of real estate transactions. The biggest impact of this settlement, it's going to change how buyer agents get paid and how they work with their clients. So whether you're planning to buy or sell a home, it's really crucial to understand these changes.
Here's what's changing for both buyers and sellers starting in 2024. Written agreements for buyers. From now on, buyers will no longer work informally with agents. You must enter into a written agreement with your buyer's agent that clearly outlines the compensation details before you start touring homes. This ensures transparency up front. There will be no more vague agreements or last-minute surprises when it comes to agent fees.
In the past, sellers often indirectly paid the buyer's agent through the listing broker. That practice is coming to an end. The new approach is called the decoupling of compensation. Now the buyer and the buyer's agent will negotiate compensation directly. For example, if you're the buyer, you might agree to pay your agent a fee, which could be included in your closing costs, or you might request the seller cover part of that cost during negotiations.
Another major change is that offers of compensation to buyer agents will no longer be listed on the Multiple Listing Service or MLS. This means that buyer agents will now need to negotiate their compensation directly with the listing agent on a per property basis, depending on what the seller is willing to offer. If no offer of compensation is made, then the buyer's agent will need to negotiate with the buyer.
Buyer agent compensation can now become a point of negotiation between the buyers and sellers. For instance, if you're making an offer on a house, you might request that the seller cover part or all of your agent's fee as part of the deal. However, if the seller declines, that compensation remains something you, as the buyer, must cover.
These changes primarily benefit buyers in terms of transparency. You'll know upfront exactly what you're paying your agent and can better understand how the commission structure works. But there are also some new responsibilities on your end. You'll need to account for your agent's fees when calculating your home buying budget, especially if the seller isn't offering to cover these costs.
The plus side is that you have more control over the process, including negotiating the fee directly with your agent. This can help you tailor the services you need from your agent. For home sellers, the settlement brings clarity to the obligations as well. You will still work with a listing agent under a traditional listing agreement. However, the major change is that you no longer need to offer compensation to the buyer's agent up front. This could simplify your listing process, but it could also mean more negotiations with buyers who request that you cover their agent's fees.
On the upside, you have more flexibility in how you structure your sale. And if the buyer's agent fee becomes a negotiation point, you can leverage it just like any other term in the offer. In light of these changes, it's essential to understand the 3 key agreements that govern real estate transactions.
The listing agreement. This is between the seller and the listing broker. It outlines the broker's responsibilities and the compensation the seller will pay.
Buyer representation agreement. This is the new required agreement between the buyer and the buyer's agent. It clearly defines the agent's role and compensation.
Purchase agreement. This is the offer and agreement of terms between the buyer and the seller. Compensation for the buyer's agent may now be be part of the negotiation.
So what does this all mean?
Simply put, the rules of the game have changed. Whether you're buying or selling a home in 2024 and beyond, it's critical to understand these new practices. For sellers, you'll still work with your listing agent as usual, but there's a new layer of negotiation when it comes to buyer agent compensation. For buyers, having a written agreement with your agent is now a must. You'll need to be prepared to negotiate fees directly with the seller or cover them yourself.
If you're planning to buy or sell in the coming months, it's more important than ever to work with a knowledgeable real estate agent who understands these changes and can guide you through the process.
I'm Tamara Berman
And Ozzie Martinez
from Century 21 New Heritage, and we specialize in helping clients like you navigate these new rules with ease.
If you have any questions or need advice on your next move, feel free to reach out to us via email or phone. Our contact information is below, and we'd love to help you start your next chapter.